Welcome back to the Jeremiah Show. We were just listening to Rletto, Holy, from The Voice playoff NBC season 25. Welcome back, Rletto.
What's going on?
That is an amazing. We're still listening right now. It's an amazing song.
Sick.
Do
Thanks, man.
you, I know you can't give this, may not be able to answer this question. Do
Mm.
you choose the music or do they give you like a catalog and you go through that? Or how did you come up with Holy? Because it's such a beautiful song.
Thanks. Yeah, yes and no. So for our blind audition, we do pick from a few different songs, and then like we kind of go with the one that best fits. The next round, our coach picks the song, and then from there, we kind of pick our songs going forward from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned at break that you are working on a lot of different projects, but musically, you're going to re-record this song.
Yeah, I'm gonna re-record every single song that I did, including the one with me and my battle partner Val T. Webb, "Saving All My Love for You" by the Whitney Houston.
Yeah, and we are actually going to play that. That's our final song
Oh,
for the
sick.
segment. We're going to play
Yeah,
that after next break. I
nice.
wanted to ask you, you've got such an impressive following, and you're building every day. I talked to a lot of music managers, and that's what they look at now. That's which seems to me a little bit sad
It's so
that it's not about the music; it's about how many followers, and then all of a sudden now you're at an echelon where they can take you seriously rather
right.
than listening to your amazing voice. You are building, and so I was reading this about you, and I thought it was such an interesting thing that you did, something
Mm,
that I dream about doing every day. You left social media for
yeah,
months back in 2023.
yeah, uh,
Um, it,
yeah.
well, I was going to ask before you tell me about this. It's so intriguing. It seems to me that in this age of social media being our source basically for information, for news, for social life,
Mhm.
that you leaving social media even for a short time is the equivalent as a music artist as well, even more dangerous, that it's almost the equivalent of a walk into the wilderness. In old days when people would walk into the wilderness to discover themselves, and they would, go on this walk, and that's almost like that. You walked away. So
Yeah.
what led you to that decision? And was it hard to walk away from all that messaging at that time? As your success is building at this point, and you just shut it off. What was the idea there?
So this is a two-part story, I guess you can say. First part being that this was around the time that I found out I was going to be on the show. And I was like, pretty much we had this guideline that we had to kind of lay back a little bit. We couldn't really talk too much. We couldn't say too many things. We kind of just had to go ghost. And it kind of hurt because I was like, oh my gosh, like I have to leave my followers like for months. Like,
It's
what's
a
going on?
relationship, right, that you've built with these
Yeah.
followers.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to leave them. This is real. This is what they're asking to do. And I'm just like, okay, I gotta do it. The return might be greater, so this is something that I have to do. Um, that's the first part. Second part is, sometimes like, us as creatives, we get so caught up with everything else. And I know that we shouldn't, but you kind of look at your colleagues and you're like, oh, they're doing this and they have this many followers and they're on this stage or they're in this newspaper or anything like that. And it does get in your head sometimes. You're just like, I wish that was me, or I want that to be me. And how do I do that? And how do I get to that point? And sometimes you just got to take a step back and realize that everyone has their own time, no matter what it is and whatever you're doing. Like sometimes you're not ready yet. And, I think it takes a bigger person to tell yourself that, you have to wait sometimes and learning yourself or learning through other people, it makes you a stronger and better artist at the end of the day, like I, sometimes I feel like if I would have gotten it sooner, I wouldn't have been ready for it. So Yeah.
what is the main thing that you learned about yourself?
That I think that the main thing I learned about myself is like I can't rush things. Like I my creative process is so detailed. If I rush anything, it's just gonna offset the balance of what I'm trying to do. So now I just trust time and I trust myself and I trust that whatever I'm gonna do is gonna make sense and it's gonna fall into line of my artistry of how I want to tell or paint the picture.
That's beautiful. I'm going to quote you here.
Mhm.
You said it took time. You took the time to create something that will last eternally. And you're beyond excited to introduce this new era of yourself.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. It's so poetic. And are you an anxious person naturally? Or you seem pretty calm and sure of yourself and very measured. You seem like you have a good perspective on who you are as a person. Would that be a fair statement?
I would say yes. I've also had some pretty cool PR training, so I know how to I know how to just relax. But my mind is always working. Like I'm like even like right now, like I'm thinking about, things that I have to do tomorrow and the next day and what time I have to release the next video. So like I'm always working. I just try not to show it.
Are you saying that I'm boring you?
No.
Rletto, I'll see if I can pick up the pace a little bit here. You're thinking
Never
about your grocery list.
that.
Well,
Oh
okay,
man, nah.
when did you know you're ready to come back to social media? What was
Yeah.
that like?
Well, pretty much when The Voice started to send us the promo for this season, I was like, okay, if I'm going to come back, it needs to be something big. Like I can't be like, okay, randomly, sorry I left you guys for X amount of months. Here I am. Like, nah. Like if I'm going to come back, it needs to be like an announcement that's going to make people be like, okay, this is why he was gone. This is what he's been working on. So I was excited. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is going to be like the first thing I'm sharing to everyone after being gone for so long. And the response was great. They're just like, we missed you. I'm like, ah,
Oh, that's nice.
yeah,
It'd be
yeah.
worse if everybody's like didn't say anything. So everybody that follows you and knows you got that response, that little message from Instagram that said
Mhm.
Rletto has posted. Hasn't
Yeah.
posted in a while. Posted now. Check it
Yep.
out. I love it. Okay, let's listen to some more of your great music. I love this one, Rletto. It's Moonlight
Oh, love that.
featuring Maya Dyson. It's just beautiful. Let's take a listen. We'll be right back after the short break. Check out Rletto on his socials. Speaking of socials, he's back. He's back, and you can check him out on Instagram. It's underscore Rletto. TikTok at Rletto. Facebook, you can check him out at It's Rletto. All one word, and I'll spell Rletto, Rletto. An amazing name. Love it. Here we go. Rletto and Moonlight featuring Maya Dyson. Be right back.